Welcome to the course Retrieval Practice. My name is Colleen Kelsey, and I will be your instructor today. Now we will review learning objectives. Number 1, understand ineffective learning strategies such as rereading text, mass practice, and repetition practice. Number 2, comprehend retrieval practice to apply effective methods of implementation. Number 3, demonstrate a working knowledge of space practice, interleave practice, and varied practice with learning strategies. Number 4, apply retrieval methods and mnemonics such as the Littner box and the memory palace. To begin, we are going to review our first problem statement about rereading text. A Washington University study showed close multiple readings do not benefit learners. Rather, it is a waste of time to read more than once. The study included 2 different universities and students with low and high reading ability. This proves rereading and highlighting are not effective learning strategies and also do not support memory retention. The second problem statement reviews mass practice. Studies show that mass practice, also known as crammed learning, has high benefits initially, but is ineffective for retention and long-term memory creation. Mass practice is widely accepted. We will learn different methods to increase memory and master comprehension of new learning materials in this lesson. Pause the video and answer the reflection question below by writing a response on paper. The third and last problem statement is illusion of mastery. Studying similar material in the same order provides the illusion of mastery, but does not meet real-world recall experiences. A study with the California Polytech State University baseball team shows that batting practice pitch variety may be harder and take longer, but it has stronger growth for players. Batting practices with repeated pitch only benefit players short-term. Pause the video and answer the reflection question below by writing a response on paper. Now we are going to learn about retrieval practice. So what is retrieval practice? Researchers found effortful retrieval practice occurs when individuals practice learning recall, which consolidates information into mental models. This allows for long-term memory formation when the learning is pliable, allowing for reconsolidation and connections between previous and current learning. This is the first reflection question. Reflection questions allow you to work on recall of learned materials. For this question, pause the video and take out a piece of paper to write down the 2 correct matching definitions for effortful retrieval practice from the list below. The 2 correct definitions of effortful retrieval practice are number 1 and number 3. Another important aspect of the retrieval practice is space practice. Lasting learning requires a space practice approach. Spacing learning sessions allows for the consolidation of information into memory formation. The mass practice does not allow for space practice. Instead, it crams learning into short bursts in anticipation of an impending test. The image refers to a study by psychologists Nate Cornell and Robert Bork. The chart on the left shows participants believed mass study approaches worked best, but results show that space practice is much more beneficial for recall over a period of time, as seen in the chart on the right. With this reflection question, pause the video, take a piece of paper out, and write down the matching definitions of spaced practice. The 2 correct definitions of spaced practice are number 2 and 3. The interleave practice is when the practice combines 2 or more related skills instead of just one skill, which slows down learning and activates other brain parts. Instructors often avoid interleave practice because it does take so much more time and does not seem efficient. Studies have shown Accessing other parts of the brain by switching between content or tasks provides greater retention. With this reflection, pause the video, take a piece of paper, and write down the two matching definitions of interleaved practice. The correct two answers are number 1 and 3. Another important factor in retrieval practices is varied practice. This practice changes the schedule of learning so the learner is being challenged by facing new and different information. This reflection practice will ask you to match the definition to 3 retrieval practices that we learned. With a piece of paper, write down the numbers 1, 2, 3, and then find the matching definition with the letters A, B, or C. As seen, the correct answers are 1. Interleaved practice matches C, 2. Spaced practice matches A, and 3. Varied practice matches B. Now let's review some methods to help implement the retrieval practice. The Littner box was created by scientist Sebastian Littner. The system includes spaced practice for students to learn with flashcards that are organized into 5 categories of difficulty. The least known flashcards are placed in the far left card pile, and the master flashcards are placed in the far right pile. As learners answer the flashcards correctly, the flashcards are moved right. As they are answered incorrectly, the flashcards are moved left. Recall what we just learned about the Littner box, and on a piece of paper, write down the 2 correct objectives of the Littner box. The 2 correct objectives of the Littner box are number 1 and number 2. An example of a mnemonic device is a memory palace. This mnemonic device associates an imagined environment where information is stored so it can be easily recalled. This could be visualizing a regular coffee shop you visit. Making a story about the information you need to learn within this room helps you to remember it. With this reflection, we are trying out the mnemonic device called Memory Palace. Assign each practice below, either retrieval practice, interleave practice, and so forth, a location in the coffee shop and include a story. Here's an example. The customer at the counter applies retrieval practice when retrieving his coffee. In this course, we learned multiple readings and mass practice learning does not work. Retrieval practice builds long-term memory and mental networks in learning. To recap, the retrieval methods are studied and proven methods that include spaced, interleaved, and varied practices. These apply recall methods for rigorous learning experiences for learners and to form accessible long-term memories. Thank you. Great job. Now it's time to apply retrieval practices.